As the group scanned the map for guidance, they noticed that all the areas closer to the shelter were more green, while the areas that were a bit further away were redder. The one area which had the darkest red of them all was the harsh, sandy desert. Quinn decided to pick up the book, which was sealed by a lock, so that others couldn't open it and read it unless they paid for it. A book containing information on beasts belonging to the planet Caladi, read the cover. Teeth worm, basic tier beast. Winged lizard, basic tier beast. Burning snake, intermediate tier beast. Please select one to find out more information. As he looked at the list of names, Quinn was deciding which one of the three was the beast that Nate had talked about. Out of the three of them, only one had matched the description. It was the winged lizard. Winged lizard. Although this beast contains wings, it cannot fly. They are also the hardest part of the beast's body. The weak point of the beast is its underbelly. It can be found in the deepest parts of the desert. The description seemed to match the material of Sam's cape, but if Quinn wanted to make a full set of clothing from it, he would definitely need a large amount of beast's cores. While he was there, he decided he might as well look at the other beasts. There was always the chance to encounter them, and if they did, it would be handy to know their strengths and weaknesses. Hey you, if you're not buying anything, then get out of here. I was just looking, Quinn said. The old man then walked over and snatched the book out of Quinn's hand. I said get out now, or else. You're lucky that people are around, Quinn said as he walked away. When Quinn arrived back at the group had decided that for the first day, they would head to one of the green areas nearby. After defeating a few basic tier beasts, they would make their way into the red zone. Although Quinn was eager to go into the red zone to get his crystals, he was happy with the decision they had made. As the group made their way towards their destination, Quinn and Vorden were in the lead and were talking about different things. You know, while you were in that shop, Peter kept saying some weird things, Vorden said. Do you think they might plan to do something on this trip? Quinn asked. I doubt it. Unlike the red portal places, there are too many people here. But the important thing is that Peter believes that they will. The area they chose to go to on the map was a small little oasis. The area was filled with beasts, known as teeth worms. They would travel under sand, but were easy to spot, as a big lump of moving sand was coming towards you. When they were close enough, they would pop out from the sand and open their circular mouth, displaying thousands of small razor-sharp teeth inside. Peter and Quinn stayed in the middle while they allowed for the others to attack the worms. Vorden and Aaron found it the easiest to deal with the worms. Layla, on the other hand, found it a little more difficult. Even when using her telekinesis ability, her arrow was too slow. The arrow would hit the sand before even hitting the beast. The only way she could overcome this was to not use her ability at all and just fire at the worms with no fear. Still, it would take a couple of arrow shots for her before the worms were dead. As Quinn saw the group killing basic beasts left and right, he felt a little sad. Not because he couldn't join in. He was happy that others were fighting, but the fact that all of these kills could have been precious experience for him. As he had this thought, a familiar voice sounded in his head. You know, if you bloodied one of them, you would be able to gain EXP for all their kills, the system said. Quinn thought about it seriously for a while. She had already asked him to turn her into a vampire and know he really could. While thinking about whether or not to blood Layla, Quinn decided he would leave it to her and would ask her later. While the group was busy fighting away on the outside, one of the worms managed to wiggle past their formation and was heading straight for Quinn. As soon as the worm had reached the shade of the umbrella, Quinn grabbed the worm midair by the end of its tail. So ugly, Quinn said as he squeezed it tightly with his bare hands. The center of its body was strung like a towel as black blood fell to the floor. Basic beast killed. 10 EXP earned. First teeth worm killed, 100 bonus EXP gained. You are now level 1. 70 of 200 EXP. Strength, 16. Stamina, 15. Agility, 16. Charm, 5. You have received 2 stat points. The group had taken out a total of 9 teeth worms together. Was this here before? Peter said, staring at the thing. The next thing he knew, out from the mound of sand, another teeth worm came jumping out. All panicked, Peter fell to the floor and completely forgot about the earth staff he held on his back. But before the earthworm could reach him, a spear of ice came rushing from the side and killed it in one shot. Right by the oasis, another group had witnessed the whole thing and couldn't help but laugh at Peter's reaction. The leader of the group was named Ben, and he wielded a large club on his back. "Boss, watch out!" one of them shouted as a teeth worm jumped from the side. He reached out for the club on his back and was ready to slam the thing to pieces. Instead, an ice spear came out from the side and accurately stabbed it through its body and onto the sand. "You don't mind if I take that one's beast crystal, do you?" Aaron said, walking over. "Sure, go ahead," Ben replied with a fake smile. The teeth worms were no longer jumping out and attacking, and now they had time to collect the beast crystals. "How much did we get?" Ben asked. "A total of 4, boss." "Seriously?" As Ben looked over, he noticed that the other group must have obtained over 10, more than double their haul. Then he noticed something else as well. The boy at the back of the group, Peter, didn't seem to gel as well with the others. In fact, it was almost as if they were treating him as an outcast. "You're only as strong as your weakest link," Ben said with a smile. All crystals that were handed into the military base would be counted towards their points. However, the military would keep 10% of whatever they gave in to be counted. So instead, Quinn decided to keep the crystal inside his system, where it couldn't be found and sold later. The sun was still burning brightly, and it didn't look like it would set any time soon, but they knew they had been out for at least 6 hours. Then they headed straight for the military base, which was located at the center of the shelter. This was a square-like building that had several different departments, but for the next week, just in front of the building was a small stand for students. At the stand was a single adult soldier, and behind him a large digital screen. The digital screen behind him was suddenly updated. The name Layla could be seen, and the number 15 was displayed next to it. While looking at the board, Quinn also spotted Logan's name, who was second on the leaderboard with 24 points. He hadn't spotted him since this expedition, but knew he would be here since he was a first-year student. "I guess that's what a power level 8 can do. He must have some pretty strong teammates with him as well," Quinn thought. Before they were to head off to sleep for the night or day, they decided that they should have a group meeting on the kitchen table. The 5 of them sat down, and Erin was the first to speak. She said, "As you all know, my goal is to come out as one of the top teams during this assessment. Right now, we're just above average, and I can't accept that. That's why I think tomorrow we should head into the red zone." "I think we're strong enough," Vorden added, "but the problem is these two." The 2 people Vorden was talking about were, of course, Peter and Quinn. To be honest, Quinn wanted to go to the red zone too. Most likely, the winged lizard lived there, but he had planned to go there when the day cycle had changed to night. Aaron said, "As you can see on the map, there is a safe zone just outside of the red zone. Most likely it's a territory where 2 different beasts clash, so they don't cross each other's path. The 2 can wait there while we go inside and attack." After hearing Aaron's suggestion, Quinn didn't think it was too bad. If they were to leave him and Peter alone, then perhaps Quinn could sneak off at some point to hunt the winged lizards on his own. When leaving in the morning, it looked like their group wasn't the only one heading for the red zone. There were a total of 4 other groups altogether. "That's our competition," Aaron said, looking towards one of the groups who walked in front. "You see the boy at the front with the red hair? It's the trait of the Red Shield family. All originals who learn their magic acquire the ability of fire." "The ability of fire, huh?" Borden looked at the red-haired student for some time, trying to think up an idea. But the one that interested Quinn wasn't the fire user. Instead, it was Logan, who was also part of one of the groups heading to the red zone. "I wonder what his ability really is," Quinn thought. It had to be impressive to be able to get the second highest score. Throughout the whole time the 2 of them were together, Quinn still hadn't figured it out. And for some reason, Quinn felt like it was rude to ask. Most high levels would keep their ability secret. If 2 people were to get in a fight, knowing their ability beforehand was a huge advantage. While the rest of the groups continued to move forward, though, Aaron's group had decided to change direction, slightly heading off to the left. "Are you sure you're going to be okay?" Vorden asked. "Don't worry about it. If trouble comes our way, I have a trick up my sleeve to fight them off," Quinn replied. "You see that building up ahead? It looks like an abandoned well of some sort. We will wait for you there, and come get us on the way back." "Boss, it looks like the group is split into 2. Maybe the strong ones are heading to the red zone. Who should we follow?" one of the men said to Ben. "We stick to the plan," Ben said. "I managed to do some research on their group yesterday. It turns out that their group had 2 level 5 power users, and wait for it, 2 level 1s if you can believe it." "Seriously? They must be like the only level 1s in their whole class. They would probably get in the way if they were to fight. If we take their crystals they got yesterday, then we will climb up from the bottom of the leaderboard." Back at the red zone, Vorden and the others had finally arrived. Most of the groups had spread out from each other, making sure that they didn't get in the way of each other's hunting process. The red zone was filled with winged lizards. Before hunting one of the beasts, the group stayed and watched patiently for one of the other groups to attack first. A single person would walk up to the group of lizards and send out an attack, catching the attention of a single beast. Then the person would lead the lizard to the group, and they would all attack it at once. They were being cautious not to attract the attention of all the lizards after all. The lizard would constantly block attacks from the beast's weapons and certain abilities using the wings attached to its arms. Eventually, they would manage to defeat it. But while the other group struggled, one was finding it easy, and that was the one with the flame user named Berg. Berg's flames were stronger than the beast wings, and it didn't matter what it did, it would be set aflame, and sooner or later the beast would die. Watching this, Borden had an even bigger smile on his face. Now, only if there was some other flame user in our group.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.